Okay, we're gonna go to finish up phase 2 and start phase 3, I think. It's still pretty warm, but it's cold enough. Everything's hibernating, so we're gonna try and top a lot of these fruit trees, like right here, here, there. These ones right here are all fruit trees in a cluster, and then there's this one over here too that's also. So what we're gonna do is probably try and trim off the lower ones a little lower. So we're gonna cut these ones down here to like my height, and then those ones up there, and I'll show you when we get in there that because they were growing inside like the brush, there's no limbs lower. Like the limbs start above my head in most cases. So again, especially this cluster in the middle here, I want to get at that, drop it down. There's a lot of sprouts, so what we really want to do is hard prune the crap out of this. Now, we're not worried about fruit this year. We're worried about fruit in the next 2 or 3 years when it recuperates. So this year we're only worrying about growth. So right now we just want to do all the big cutting, and I might even for the first time seal those larger cuts because I don't want the tree to go in too much shock, and I want it to prevent the bugs and stuff from coming in and rotting it even more than it can. Normally I wouldn't do that. They don't necessarily recommend that anymore. They used to, but I might do that. We'll see how it goes on the video, so stay tuned. We're going to get up inside there, and we're going to set up the ladder, and we're just going to see what we are working with. Now, you got to understand, these things are fairly straight, so it's very dangerous to cut these because they fall straight down instead of over like a tree would timber. It won't timber, it'll just come straight down on you. So we got to be very careful that we're not going to get hurt in this process. We can't use any injuries. All right, it's a good day. We're gonna do some hard pruning. So I'm really gonna take these trees down to almost a nub. And the good thing about apples and pear trees is that they're pretty resilient when doing this. So I couldn't tell you about plum trees because I've never seen a plum tree this large. I'm gonna show you a tree down here that I have. I think it's a pear, and it has such a large trunk, including the one that's just off to the side of the camera. But we're going to get up here and we're going to top this top off right now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to prune back any dying, dead, and diseased pieces of tree or limbs that have to come out. And I suggest that you do that. You can do that any time of the year. It doesn't matter about your percentages of 30% per year, 25% per year, however much you think that that you believe that needs to be cut off a tree. Now, we're not trying to get fruit out of the tree this year, we're just trying to get growth out of the tree. So when we cut it back, all of the sprouts are going to come out. All of these little sprouts right here will come out, and then we will slowly pick and choose which ones we would like to be our new lateral support limbs to support a lot of these budding. So there's only a few that I'm going to actually do that to this year. There's one I'm going to show you again down here that I'm just going to leave and sacrifice for the year because it has lots of grow ability. And I don't know, I might take out some. I don't know, I always keep changing my mind when I'm out here because it's one of my favorite things to do is just prune to the point where I just have it exactly the way I want it. So let's get started. This is a very dangerous job. You're going to need your glasses for sure, maybe some gloves, maybe even chaps if you're into that kind of stuff. I kind of risk it. What you're going to do too is don't forget your loppers and your pruners, and don't forget to and I've already rinsed these off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So we're going to do this tree, and then what we're going to do is we're going to wash these off again to do the next tree, because you don't want whatever's in this tree to go into the next tree. The good news is, as far as I can tell, there's absolutely no disease in my trees, so that's a good thing. So mostly it's just old stuff that's been in. This has been very shaded in this area until I've just opened it up. And again, I'll show you some of that. And I'll be working on this throughout the week. So definitely stay tuned for next week's video, because that's going to be a lot of the cleanup and a lot of the final product. But we're going to show you how to do the hard pruning, and we'll give you a really good glimpse of what this tree is going to look like at the end and get ready for spring. All right, as you can see, this is a pretty big plum tree, or excuse me, a pear tree, and it's got a lot of dead in it. Like this whole branch right here is dead. This one here is alive, but this one right there, that one right there, that one is got to go. So I'm gonna top it off probably right about there somewhere, and I'm just gonna have to hard prune the crap out of this one. But again, this tree is very big and overgrown. And I also just wanted to point out this little thing here. A lot of people don't know what these little dots are that come into the tree. What that is that's a woodpecker coming in there and pecking it out, letting the sap run a little bit, and then the bugs come and eat the sap, and then they come and eat the bugs. So without the woodpecker, I would have probably an infested tree. So we're gonna get some oil for the chainsaw, and we're gonna come back and we're just gonna take some major cuts, and then after that we're gonna go on this side here too as well, this little grove, and we're gonna head these off right pretty much level. It won't matter much. You can see there's a lot of water sprouts, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna thin a lot of these water sprouts out, and again we're gonna get rid of the dead, dying, and diseased. We're gonna get rid of the things that are all pointing towards the inside. I want to keep this center open, so I want to try and get as much light as possible. And as you can see how long each and every one of these pieces are, they just grow straight from the ground all the way up through the tree. And well, we're just gonna have to thin it out, and when we get there I'll show you how to cut those so that we can get the right bud facing the right way. Alright, so we've hard pruned, dropped down these very large branches, but unfortunately we got some damage. So like this is damaged, right? So but what we want to do is, instead of cutting it to this bud, which is facing that way, we don't want to do that. This one here, this bud right below it, is facing just outside this way. So let's just snip that just above it, and then that saves that little sprout for this year. So we're gonna go around and we're gonna do that to the other ones right around here too as well. And I just wanted you to see like some of the knuckles, like just where the knuckles are that you need to cut when you're trying to cut your sprouts off. You want to hit right at that knuckle, because there's some hormones inside that little collar there that help heal it, right? So we don't want to like cut too close to the bark. You just want to cut just above it. It'll leave a little bump, but it'll eventually grow itself over. So I think all right, so we're in this little cluster here. We've already done all the hard prune, which I'm going to show you in a minute, the final result from a distance. But what we're going to do is, like, we have all of these prunes and all of these, look at some of this dry, it's breaking. Those are the first ones you want to get rid of, is the dead, dying, and diseased. And you never want to worry about anything other than that. So we really want to thin this out. So we'll grab our small pruners here, and we're going to just pick and choose the ones we want to keep, you know, just like that. And again, cut at the collar. So there's a little collar right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little collar, and you don't want to go like right against the tree. You want to go just right at that knuckle right there, and then it'll heal up real quick, and that'll be great. So we're going to go around this tree, do a quick little prune on a lot of these water sprouts, because these are the ones that are going to become our new tree. So we're going to find all the dead ones and get them out of there, just like this one is dead. So you can see it's dead, get rid of it. And that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you in a minute exactly how it's going to look in the end, but you can see, and I'll just do a little sweep around for you. It's getting kind of late. It's Christmas Day, and I'm getting a little chilly. I'm really sweaty, but it's about 10 degrees, 9 degrees out right now, so got to take advantage of the warm weather, even though it's not the weather we should be getting. But yeah, let's get in there, thin out. You can see this one sprout went all the way up. It's probably 15-20 feet tall. Well, we're going to take the loppers to it, or the saw to it, and we're going to go to an open bud. So let me just show you that real quick. Is don't forget these open buds. See, we got a damaged one right here, but let's just say we're going to cut this one. Okay, so you get really close, and we want this bud right here. See this bud? This little bud right here is shooting out to this side, and that's kind of what we want. We're going to want to spread it out into the sunlight. So that's the whole idea of what we're doing here. You see this is a little bent here. So let's get going. Let's get at it, and I'll show you what happens. All right, as you can see, I've really thinned it out. I got rid of a bunch of branches, but we're going to let the rest of it grow, and we're going to let the other sprouts come in, and then we're going to decide how we want this tree to grow. So how I want it to look is how I want it to grow. So it'll just keep growing, and you know, I got this really long one right here that's hanging over. We're going to let that grow, and we're going to see how far it starts to dip down. And yeah, so like I said, we got rid of most of the stuff on the inside here. These are these little branches right in here. They all have out facing branches. Again, we're going to let it grow this year, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to come back and obviously clean off some of these cuts. I actually broke one right here, and I'll be coming that. But I'm finished the video right now, so I'm going to go up to the hillside and show you the distance on what it looks like from a distance. But I'm pretty much done, other than a lot of cleanup and maybe 1 or 2 cuts that I have to do. So I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the new year with a new video. And my next videos are going to be a lot of pruning, so we got a lot of my smaller trees to prune. But yeah, let's take care of this video first, and we'll get on to the new year with a new video and a new start. And again, have a great week and be safe.